Hello there, my name is KahNah, and I am a psychic who's on a mission to help everyday people achieve true love. And in today's video, I am going to be talking about things that your spirit guides want you to know. And the reason I'm making this video is because I just finished having lunch, and the whole time I was eating, in the back of my mind, I was hearing my guide saying, tell them, these messages that we have. Tell them these things, that we want them to know. So this is going to be things that your spirit guides want you to know, part one. Most likely, I'm sure I'll make another one of these videos later. But what I'm going to be doing here in this video is I'm just going to be bringing through some messages from my guides and people's guides about what they want us to know in general. So I'm not sure what's going to come through, but let us just jump right in and get started. Okay, so the first thing that our spirit guides want us to know is that we are never alone. One of the things that our spirit guides want us to always understand is that in the times that we think that we are totally alone in the world, that we're by ourselves, that no one understands us, that we've been abandoned, they are with us. Your spirit guide is always with you, actually, whether or not you are incarnate on earth or you're in the higher realms. They make an agreement to serve us during our entire soul journey. So your primary spirit guide, your guardian angel, was with you when you were born, from the moment that you came out of your mother's womb, and is with you every single moment of every single day, no matter what you are going through. Okay, so there's a couple of messages related to this one as well. So, okay, the first one is, they hear you, like your spirit guides hear you. So if you're wondering, for example, like, maybe you were praying to them or something like that, and it's like, I don't know if they can hear me or not. They hear you. They hear literally everything. Like, they can tap into. Now, they don't do this in a way that's judgmental or in a way that is intrusive, but they can hear like every single thought that you have. They know what's going on in your world. And not only that, but it is the job of your spirit guide to know everything that is going on in your world. That's their job. Like, they are devoted to you. Their ultimate role of your guide is to help guide you on the path that you wanted to walk. Okay, yes. Okay, so they wanted to the path that you wanted to walk in this particular lifetime, right? So here's why this matters. Okay, it's like they're saying, we're guiding you towards the lessons that you wanted to learn and the experiences that you wanted to have. So sometimes, people are like, if my spirit guides are there and they're with me all the time, then why did bad things happen in my life? Why did that bad thing happen? Well, your spirit guide is never going to do anything that like really puts your life at risk or anything like that, but they might sometimes guide you into situations that feel disappointing or uncomfortable for a brief period of time. What is a brief period of time to them? Because it's the way of getting you to learn those lessons that you wanted to learn in this lifetime. And ultimately, like, that's their job, is to make sure that, not only are we here, not only are we having fun while we're here, but that we are growing in the ways that we intended to grow. And to be fair, those ways are different for everyone. Like, we're all here learning related lessons, but we're all here learning different lessons, based on the journey of our soul. So they also want us to know that when things don't go the way that we want, that it's almost always like a blessing in disguise, okay? So we can get really down because something, in our life, a plan that we had didn't go how we wanted it to go. And usually the reason why we feel so disappointed is because of the actual like range that we're thinking. So it's like they're saying like you see this, we see this, they see this. So, sometimes, a lot of times in our life actually, they're like, we want to go in this direction, but that they know that, it's okay in the circle that we can see, that path might be okay in that circle, but just beyond that, it's going to lead to our demise, or it's going to lead us down a road of temptation or hurt or pain or things that aren't necessary for us to experience, and so they block it. So, I was gonna say, that like don't be mad at your guides, but they're not actually saying that. They're actually like, you can be mad. It's okay. Like, you can be mad at us if you want, but know that the moments of divine intervention are exactly that. Like, if we have a well laid out plan, and it seems like we're being blocked, we probably are. Trust that your guides are seeing a bigger picture than what you are actually able to perceive. Okay, one of the other things that they want us to know is about how they actually communicate. Okay, so many people have the misconception that their guides, like they'll be able to hear their guides or something like an audible voice or be able to see them. That's not typically the case because our guides different guides operate in different ways based on what you requested of them for this lifetime, by the way. But they operate on a principle of non-intervention. So from this sort of spirit guide code of ethics, it would really not be a good idea for them to just like appear in your presence, right? And just tell you what to do. That's actually the worst thing that they could do, because their job is to guide. Their job is to guide you, subtly. Their job is not to direct you and say, do this, do that, do this, do that. So anyway, my point of all of this about how they communicate is that because their job is to subtly guide you in the direction of the plan that you created for this lifetime, or the intentions that you created for this lifetime, that's what you're watching out for. Like, if you're wondering, how are my guides in my life? How are they communicating with me? Maybe stop looking for like them to actually appear, or the actual voice in your head, and understand that primarily the way that they're communicating with us is through our feelings. Okay, so say you're thinking about, I don't know, should I, just an example here, a lot of people are thinking about moving right now. So like, should I move to New York or should I move to Colorado? Okay, so your guide is not going to, most likely, unless your life is truly exactly threatened, they're not going to like appear in a human form or something like that. They're not going to say, no, go to Colorado. What they're going to do is they're going to give you a feeling. So when you think about New York, maybe it's like, wow, on a mental level, it really makes sense for me to go there. But every time you think about it, you sort of lose a bit of energy. There's a drop in your energy, or there's just at the very pit of your stomach, there's kind of a bad feeling, and you can't explain where that came from or why. A lot of times that's your guides there. They're communicating with you via the feelings that you have in your heart, the feelings that you have in your body, and so they're coming through in that way. Another way that our guides come through with us and communicate quite a bit is by actually just inserting thoughts into our consciousness. So those inspired ideas and things like that you've had. Maybe you just wake up in the morning and it's like, you know what, I should do this, or wow, there's the answer to my life's biggest problem. That is one way that they're able to communicate with us, is by giving us those inspired ideas. So maybe you're wondering why they're able to do this. Well, when they put a thought into our mind, we have the choice whether or not to act on it. So in that way, it's not like directing us, it's just guiding us, because they're just implanting the thought or the feeling. We're still making the choice, well, am I going to trust this feeling, or am I going to trust this inspired thought that I actually got? Okay, so one last thing. So the other thing, the other thing that they're saying is like, a lot of people are asking like to themselves, or they wonder, in that moment where like I almost died in a car accident or something like that, but then I felt somebody else like take the wheel or that type of, like, was that my imagination or was that my spirit guide? 99 times out of 100, that is actually your spirit guide. Like, those moments of divine intervention are real, and they happen a lot more than what we actually realize, because it is their job to ensure that we have free will. That's very important for us to know, but it is their job to ideally make sure that we do not die until we agreed to die. So most everybody has like an actual plan for how long they're going to live and how they're going to die that they make before they get here. So when our guides will intervene and just take over is if our life is threatened. This includes not only like physical harm, but it also includes harm that we might do to ourselves. So like suicide attempts and stuff like that. Maybe you're feeling really down and you're like, I don't know if I want to go on anymore, and you actually like feel, oh yeah, they wanted me to share this too, and you maybe feel like the presence, like a hand on your shoulder or something like that. Like you actually feel like someone is comforting you. They do that. They will do that. So if anybody's had an experience like that, they usually make their energy felt like in a place in your body that's like most open, and where like ideally where you would be able to actually feel it, because there's some places where we're like really locked down and we could literally have a spirit right there like touching us, try to comfort us, and we wouldn't even notice because it's such a busy area in our field. So a lot of times it might be like the back of your neck or your shoulder, areas like that are usually pretty open in our field. Okay. I think that's it. That's it for now. These are some things that our spirit guides want us to know. And oh, by the way, also, like, they love you and they accept you and they're on your team. And yeah, they're not, like, it can be hard for us to understand from our human mind, but like our guides are not mad at us. They're not punishing us. They have patience and that we don't have. Like they have a higher capacity than we actually do. So sometimes they're nudging us in a right direction, but they will, like your primary spirit guide, they're never going to give up on you. They're never going to abandon you. That doesn't happen. They work for you every single moment that you are alive, and then even afterwards, again, you're usually going to see them right away as soon as you cross over, and they're always going to sit down with you, and they're going to go over like what happened in your life in a way that's like really patient and really benevolent and really loving, and they just want to help you grow. They just want to help you grow and to purify your soul and to serve your purpose and to learn, and yeah, okay, one more thing. Our spirit guides are perfectly chosen for us. There's not any sort of mistakes that happen in that regard. And they are like us. So they're just, like our spirit guide typically has a path as a soul, like big picture path as a soul. That's similar to the one that we are actually walking at this time. Like they have walked that. They are currently in a super conscious state where they don't have as many emotions and things like that as we do, but they have incarnated on this planet and they are able to tap into what it feels like. So they do know your frustrations. They do know your struggles. They have been through it. And yeah. Oh, one last thing for real. The last thing. Okay. The last thing is that okay, they can help you if you ask them, like they can help you with certain things. Okay, so just for example, like if you're finding yourself stuck in a certain emotion and you are having trouble like transmuting it or dealing with it, let's say like you're really sad or anxious, that's a pretty simple thing for our guides to help us with. Like ask your guide, like, say, I give you permission to intervene. Can you please help to take away some of my anxiety, or can you please help to relieve some of my sadness, stuff like that. They are always willing to help with that stuff. In general, another thing too that they are able to do is to influence time to a certain degree, not to be used every day, all the time, but once in a while. Like, if you're just feeling really overwhelmed, like there's too much to do, I don't know how I'm going to do it all, and it all really is important. You can ask them to help to slow down, like slow down time or slow down the feeling of time, and they'll do that so that you can get more done. In general, because they work based on non-intervention, you want to give them permission to intervene in your life. But then, that's my opinion. Okay, I was gonna say then don't be mad when they intervene. But that's not actually what they're saying though. But then observe when they do intervene. So, for example, if you are going into a job interview and you say to your guides before you go into it, please be with me during this job interview, and I give you permission to intervene in my highest good, and then you don't get the job, it's because it wasn't in your highest good. Okay? So know that whenever you ask them and give them permission to intervene, they will intervene. But anyway, yeah. Give them permission to intervene and know that they will intervene to protect you if you give them that permission. And yeah, hopefully this video has helped you to feel more connected to your spirit guides, and hopefully you have enjoyed it. And yeah, that's about it. If you're interested in a reading or working with me further, or if you have any questions, you can email me at mayasbrightstarcreations@gmail.com, or you can find more of my content on choosefaithnotfear.com. Have a beautiful day. Bye.